Hmm. Oh, yes, we are live. Hello, Abundant Woman. I am so excited today because we are finishing strong. Epic finale of the Abundant Woman Summit 2021. Let me congratulate you for being here. Day 1 to day 6. Even if you're watching the replay and you have managed to cover all the sessions and be present in all sessions, I celebrate you. It is beautiful that you have been part of this. I am genuinely so happy. I am so happy. And the fact that today my guest is a woman who's played many roles in my life, a friend of 17 years, an epic teacher, a multidimensional oracle, an ancestral powerhouse. I don't know, so many things. She will introduce herself. Today is just so beautiful. So welcome to this beautiful session of building organic wealth through your divine gifts. Let us know how you are feeling in the comment section. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Joy Mogami, hello and welcome.
Hello, Nanofang. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you so well. So well. Okay. We are going to be about the multidimensional approach to money medicine. But before we go into that, woman, I ask that we will need to ground ourselves for this one.
Oh my God. Okay.
Definitely a beautiful journey. So let us go within and really prepare beautifully for the message that is going to come across. Right. Yes. Whew. Yes. Taking a deep breath in. Releasing. Feeling alive as you do this. As you take this deep breath in, feel just how much you are alive. Another deep breath in. Wow, just really feel this, feel the now, feel the power of being here now in this present moment. Feel your entire body, your entire spirit, how it is present within you right now. Allow yourself to feel your soul. And as you are in this feeling, allow the light that connects you directly with source, the light from source, to go within, to move from your crown and move across your body and expand into your field. Feel this light nourish you to the core, nourish your soul. Feel alive. I want you to feel alive today. We have been here, we have been present in every conversation, each and every session, each and every day. We have been here. We have been present in this summit, receiving what we need to be receiving the healing, the love, the medicine, the nourishment that we seek for our souls. So today I want you to feel the joy of you being in this journey, the joy of your calling, the joy of you being an abundant woman, the joy of connecting to Source, to Holy Mother, Father God. This is a prayer of joy, of laughter, of celebration, of gratitude, to say Father, Mother, I am here. I am present. I am here. I have awakened to your power. I have awakened to my God self. I am on this journey. I am intentionally creating my life. And as you do this, connect with your highest self. Your highest self will connect you to your highest timeline where you can receive everything that you are worthy of receiving because you've always been worthy. So celebrate this. Celebrate that you get to receive the activation, the healing, the codes that will be supporting you in your mission. Laugh as you do this, smile with joy, and know that it is happening at a spiritual level, but you will also get to witness the shift physically. The signal is coming, the signal is here. So celebrate yourself. You are abundant. You are worthy of everything that you deeply desire. See your biggest vision. See your biggest why. Why you of all women were called into this. Why you of all women awakened to this mission that you are on, to this path that not many get to travel, this path where you get to create your life with your deepest intentions, knowing that everything that you desire is available. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. I celebrate the support that you have of our divine guides of love and light. As they gather here, of course, they are applauding you as well for being here, for being on this journey. It is a time of love. It is a time of joy. It is a time of results. It is a time of wealth. It is a time of health, of divinity, of the God you. It is a time of power. It is a time of medicine. Receive it all. You are worthy. And I celebrate you. And I thank you, God. I thank you, Source. I thank you, Holy Spirit, for helping us birth our miracles, for helping us create with intention. I thank you, higher self, for connecting us to our highest wisdom and guidance, even as we will be concluding the Abundant Summit. I know that the message that will come through Joy Mogami, as she is here as a vessel, will be a message that we are ready to receive, that our souls have been yearning to hear. And I thank you, our divine guides of love and light, for leading us and for always guiding us, for always supporting us on this mission, and for the wisdom that overflows. I truly thank you for the overflow, for the love. I thank you for the medicine that we are, and for bringing forth this medicine woman. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Ashe. Yeah.
Wow. Such a powerful prayer. I didn't want to come back. I was deep in the vibes. What a beautiful prayer. Thank you so much for leading us.
Yes, it was a happy prayer. Let's celebrate.
Yes, because this is your last day in the summit. Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, because also we have received many shifts through the summit. So I celebrate the physical manifestation that is to happen by the end of today, as we conclude with a very activating conversation that I already know will just take us to the next level. So do prepare yourself to move to the next version of you, the next best level of you. I can't wait. Joy Mogami, Abundant Woman. Woman, Oracle, everything. Please tell the woman who you are. Just share with us today about this magic that you are.
Wow. Where do I start? Huh. Well, I guess I could start with my name. My name is Joy Mogami. That's actually my full name. And I am a multidimensional oracle, an ancestral guide, and I work primarily with what I call genetic path cutters. And genetic path cutters is essentially everyone who really feels called to heal themselves, who feels called to also do the kind of healing that will ripple out in the family, in the ancestral bloodline, and do the work at a level in which we are working with divinity, the essence of who we really are, which we could also call the multidimensional, the aspects of ourselves that go beyond what we see now here in the vessel, right? Because essentially that is who we are. We are these divine beings, and creation, manifestation, materialization as it happens in our world actually begins above. It starts first somewhere beyond, although that beyond is actually through the heart, you know, within ourselves, within the body itself, within that spark of yourself that is much more than, you know, the ego, the voice of this earth that is all about the worries and everything going wrong, right? So I work with that inner spark, that inner spirit, that inner divinity within yourself, and I help you as a genetic path cutter to connect back with your true self, your higher self, and to work with divinity, to work with the laws of creation that are natural and organic, as it was always meant to be. You know, we are going to talk about manifestation and money and all these things that have a lot to do with the laws. How do we utilize the laws of our world to create resources that support us? You know, so for me, I believe that the answer cannot just be found within the physical, within the teachings we got from school, and there is something else beyond, and that something else is what we call the multidimensional. It goes beyond this one dimension you see. You know, so my work is essentially that. I have a background in psychology, so I really am interested in how do we take all these teachings. One moment. Yes, okay. How do we take all these teachings of the spirit, of ancestry, of God, and bring them to the human in a very practical ways, in ways that we actually see those changes? I think it's great. I'm a person who loves knowledge and history and wisdom, but it is not worth it if it's not useful, if it's not applicable to changing our lives as people, making our lives better, taking us to the next level. So these are the kind of things that I work with, that I'm interested in, essentially. Yes.
Wow, you just listening to you and what you do is so activating, and I truly am grateful that in my path, in my journey, I got to meet you and I got to work with you, because one of the most beautiful things about you is that you embody these teachings. You are a healer, you are a multidimensional oracle, and you really embody the multidimensional aspect of things in everything that you do. And that includes the healing, that includes your spirituality, your approach to issues of spirituality, how our deepest connection with God is supported by different dimensions, by different realms, and really helping women understand their role, their soul, and how everything else is interconnected. That is one of the most beautiful things I've got to really learn from you. There's also another thing that you do. You approach your journey of abundance, your wealth creation, your life of creating wealth for yourself. You are also using a multidimensional approach. You are also approaching your business, your spiritual business in that aspect. So I truly appreciate this about you. I love that you get to embody everything. And through knowing you and through working with you, it's some of the lessons that I learned. So I really feel like even this message, this topic that you chose, that this is what I want to deliver with the women, it's because you know that it is truly you. It is truly what you are sent forth to do, to really help humans to see things from different perspectives. So thank you for that. Yeah, you have explained what it means to be multidimensional. You have broken it down as you were helping us understand what you do. So I want us to go deeper. Take us deeper, Joy. For the women who are called, for the women who are on this journey and who are being called to heal, transform, to coach, to do the God mission, we also understand that we are worthy of creating this world, right? So what would you, as we begin, what would you like us to understand, especially when it comes to money and money medicine? What is the perspective that you'd like to drop right now and help us see?
Oh, such a big question. And thank you for everything that you said about working with me. I really appreciate that. That's really heartwarming. I get really activated when I hear, those that I've worked with say that, I see the practicality of this, because when we hear words like multidimensional or oracle, these are like new, or they're not common words. So it all feels very complicated. And in a lot of my teachings, I do tend to want to break down complicated concepts, not for the sake of just let us know what it is, but for the sake of how do we take all of these big concepts and make them a practical thing. And so for me, I believe that this conversation of money, of abundance, starts with this bigger concept of the multidimensional, or our multidimensionality. All the women in this container, they at some point had something within them, just that voice that something is not okay, that I know that I am meant to be living a certain life, a life of abundance, a life where I get to be expressing myself, where I get to be in service to myself and to others. There is that yearning, that longing to actually bring into manifestation. There's a big kind of background, sorry about that. To bring into manifestation things I know to be true to what I am, things like love, things like abundance, access to resources, access to community, access to expression, to creativity, to art. All of these things, we have that yearning within them. And there's an aspect of ourselves that even as we go through the education system, that is still there. That is, it often feels like this is more of my true self. And sometimes it comes, only in moments where you're with yourself. And then there comes a point where you're like, I feel like I want to know more about this energy, this aspect of myself, because it feels like it's more of me, but I don't get a chance to express it, and so on. And then you begin this journey. And as you begin this journey, there is this uncovering and releasing of everything else that has been suppressing that essence, that spark, right? The inner spark. And as you keep exploring this, what happens is that you start to realize that there is so much more about yourself than meets the eye.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, I have been, who I am is influenced by a lot of things. I am a female, I'm a woman, I have a female body, I'm a woman. There is some essence within me that we call the feminine that expresses itself differently, you know, and really this actually affects how I show up in every part of my life. There is this race, this blackness that seems to really actually mean a lot in this world, in this earth. It, through having the skin, I get to access specific things, and there are limitations that I don't, that I cannot access because of having the skin. So the collective race you belong to, you start realizing, oh, it's even more about the country as well, that where I come from, and the tribe where I come from, and my family. Like, this family is different from the Legau family. The way that we do things in my family seems to be different from other. There's some kind of pattern, energy here that is similar in the Mogami family. There are a lot of teachers here. There are a lot of leaders. Why is that? Why is it that there are patterns to life, right? And that I'm actually carrying many patterns, right? And as you go deeper on, it goes to meeting, understanding, connecting deeper with that inner spark, which we have different names for it, you know. From our religious background, we call it the soul, you know. In the new age communities, they call it the higher self. You know, we can call it the monad, the avatar, the multidimensional God self, as you've been saying. It's all the same thing, essentially, to say that there is something divine, something eternal, something that seems to be intelligent in ways that I cannot comprehend, that is able to navigate this earth with all the many patterns that resides within itself, and that actually this eternal essence is responsible for the creation that I call my life. That in fact, today I am a teacher because this spark of myself has embodied a body that belongs to the lineage of the Mogami people, because the Mogami people have teaching abilities. So that's why I have a tendency to teach, you know. So that is the multidimensional. The multidimensionality is understanding the many influences that has made you who you are, that affects and influence who you are, and how that aspect is, no matter how much you meditate on it, you cannot see the beginning of it. And it also feels like it's going to exist even beyond yourself, because even if you're to ask it, where do you come from? It doesn't tell you where it comes from, but it seems to have been there for a while. That's the thing we are all drawn to as abundant women, as coaches and teachers, that there's something about being human that is so much bigger than what we were taught. Then if that's true, then there must be something more to how we create resources for ourselves, how we make money, how we step into what is natural for us. How can I step into being the teacher, the coach, the healer? There must be more. There must be a pattern that precedes my thinking and precedes my training as a human who went to school for 18 years, you know? So that spark, I call it the eternal essence that exists within you. I feel like it's the most important essence, important thing to know, to explore, experience. Because if you can be connected to that essence, then your business, your money, your clients, all of that will begin to emanate from that space, that divine intelligence that seems to be smarter than anything in the world. You know, that's why they haven't written any books about it, because they don't know what it is. It must be spectacular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Whitey. It's just so beautiful to listen. It's like, as I'm listening to you, Joy, I feel like she is literally explaining my weirdness, like as a child. Like, there's something that I can't put into words. Only you are actually putting it into words. The energy and sometimes the strange thoughts that I felt. And I love how you're also talking about how it's like you start noticing things. Like, as a child, there's a lot that you notice. You notice your grandfather sitting there. You notice how he's different from that grandfather. You notice how that family is a little stranger, is a little strange, and us doing things a certain way. How that family has a car, or how your family has a car. For me, my childhood was like, we were the only ones in our village where we had a car in the nearest, those who were like closer to our home. And every time I would pass the houses, like they would be there with their buckets asking for us to like help them carry the bucket, so that, and obviously your soul is like, is this how it is? Your soul feels like this is off, this is not natural. But I didn't have the words for it. So I love how you literally just drove me to my childhood and say that you have always known what was always within. You just didn't have the words for it. But I'm here today telling you that it's your divine essence, your spark, your, actually, is it the multidimensional self? Is it that?
There are many names for it, but yes.
The birth of, yeah. So thank you for that. I literally went on a journey and said, she is so right. Our journey begins at that time when our souls come into planet Earth, come into this world, this universe, and we really get, in as much as they are layers that we keep collecting because of society, the community, the patterns, the systems that we find, there is that aspect of us that can never, ever be contaminated by everything else. It is in its purest form. And I love how you say that is the aspect of us that actually connects us to our ability to create in our, in our healing journey, in our businesses, to create with God. Thank you for bringing that wisdom to me. As you said this, I really visualized this. But the honest truth is, Joy, for the women who are called on this journey, the spiritual entrepreneurs, before they're even spiritual entrepreneurs, there are women who are called in this mission, the healers, everything, the light workers. Why then does it feel like our calling tends to be entangled with also us having these struggles of us also being able to see these patterns deeply when it comes to creating wealth, creating abundance? Why does it feel like we start with that a little bit of struggle or seeing those distortions, especially for the woman who's called on the highest mission?
Well, I actually don't think it's happening only to the women on a mission. I think it's happening to every Earth being, because what you are seeing, these difficulties, you are really seeing the things of planet Earth, the systems of planet Earth. So we are, you are simply, when you wake up, when you open to these deeper understandings, you start to see actually something that was always there. It's just that now there is more witnessing and more attention. And then maybe now you start having the language to say what it is. But it's not that it didn't exist before. That was already there. It is that simply before your awakening, you you were veiled to look at it like it's normal, like it's natural. It's natural to suffer. It's natural that this family has money, this family doesn't have money. It's natural that families that seem to have money continue to have money from one generation to the other, and those that do not have, they continue from one generation to the other. We just, most of the time, we used to say, oh, that's life. It is what it is. You know, like there is some kind of weird force creating all of this, when in actual fact, everything we see in our world is greatly influenced by us humans. So we are the ones who are saying, okay, we accept that, yes, we will get paid this little peanuts you're giving us. Okay, we will live with it. It's us who are consenting, right? So it's actually quite important to shift away from the idea that it didn't exist. This struggle has always existed. It is painful to awaken to it because it's actually really painful that we live in a planet where we have to pay for everything, doesn't it? Like, why are we paying for the internet? Why are we paying? I don't understand. Like, I never got the financial system at all. I don't know why I have to pay to exist here. Because our earth gives us these resources, you know, the trees, they give us the fruits, you know, even the animals, since human beings eat the animals, they are there, they give birth and we have, so why are we paying, right? That's the beginning of the issue. And yeah, so it is that. Then what happens is, once you begin to reconnect with your eternal essence, then your eternal essence just kicks in this desire, this understanding, which you may call your mission, to do something about it, to shift this that is happening. Because it cannot be that we have this many people struggling. So then you will call it, my purpose is actually to heal my money, the way I've been experiencing money in this planet. My calling is to help others also heal, so that they can have better access to that money. But if we don't understand, in the first of all, the mechanics of the money system in our world, it doesn't matter how hard you work. The way things have been designed, as it is as of today, it is designed that some families will continue to have more money than others. Some races will continue to thrive more than others because of the segregation and oppression that has happened in our world. You cannot talk about money without looking into that, because money has been used as a weapon for oppression and segregation. And as Black people in particular, we have actually experienced that, right? So I believe that true authentic money medicine comes with you having to address the painful history of how a long time ago, specific groups of people created what they call the money system, where we had to exchange resources. And once that was created, the whole world was put on board, and then everyone just had to go on board with all of that. But there were also other things that were not equal or fair across all the groups of human beings, right? So take, like, say, Black people, we didn't have access to the resources that exist in our land. Our minerals, we don't actually benefit from them. They are taken elsewhere, and those elsewhere countries benefits from them. So the issue of money starts at a bigger level like that. Unfortunately, this is the truth. It starts at a bigger level of what is our history as African people, what is our history as Botswana, and then what is our history as the Mogami family, right? What makes the Mogami family different from the Lekau family, right? And I can tell you, Nonofang, it is politics. That is what makes us different in terms of how we experience men. It's politics. Is that my grandfathers were part of royalty, so they end up having a say in the distribution of resources. And because they have a say, they will have more of those resources, which we will call money. And then the next generation will continue to tap into that. The next generation will have it be easy for them, you know, while someone else, because their forefathers were not part of any of those families, the political families that are making decisions for the collective, they continue to be at that state. Unfortunately, most people, so I used to live in India, and one of the things that was fascinating about India for me, it was the caste system. So in India, it is said that when they started their tribes, you will be asked to show what you are capable of doing. So if you're very good at cooking, you will be given the role of cooking. And then after that, your entire family will be known as the tribe that are the cooks. I will come and say, I'm good at praying, then my entire family will be the Brahmins, the prayers. And this system, this caste system, is still existing in India. And even to this day, a Brahman cannot marry a cook because they're saying you are contaminating the caste system. So I was exactly like you when I went to India, and I thought, how can they do this to people? Until I realized one day, the caste system is the system of the planet Earth. We are in a caste system, we just don't know it. We are in a caste. There are families that are continue to be rich, and those who never get to be rich, because that is what they have decided for your family. And you will continue to just exist like that. And you can fight, and the system can allow you to sometimes grow and expand a little more, but you are part of a caste. There is a limit. This is why it's outliers. This is why we love stories of rags to riches, because they are so rare. Because the majority of the human race, we stay in our caste. Okay, I can go on forever. I'm gonna drink water now.
Yo. Wow. I'm so glad you got to clarify that. I love how you say, it's not that this happens to the woman who's called or the light worker. It is just that when the unveiling happened through your awakening, that's when you could really see the truth and the patterns and the system for what it is. But this, Nunufang, has been happening to your people, to my people, and all over. It is a little depressing, but I know you're not giving this information for us to be in victimhood. That's what I love about your teachings. I know you are saying, open your eyes, appreciate this. So please take us deeper. What then is the role of me, myself, and the woman on the spiritual journey? When we realize this truth, when we realize the distortions that are happening, you know, in the systems of the world on air, and how much I would say injustice is happening even through wealth creation. What is the role, or how can we contribute positively? And how can we truly be in service of God and assist or support the world? I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah.
My brain works a little strange. As you're saying this, I start thinking about this caste system I was talking about. So when I was told the story by my Indian friend, he said that you were asked, what are you good at? And then you would tell them what you're good at. You know, so as you're saying this, I'm like, how do those people who ended up being the kings and the queen know that they're good at leadership? What made someone say, oh, me, I'm just good at the cooking, and someone to say, I can lead you all? What is the difference between how that person feels about themselves and the one who says, oh, I will be the washman, I will wash all the dogs, that's what I'm good at, that's all I can do? What differentiates that person, right? And also, what makes the stories we hear of rags to riches, of the one who grew from a family of the watchmen and then they rise into a different leadership and they change the entire story of that people. The stories of, oh, we used to be very poor, I'm from a very, very poor family, but now I'm a multimillionaire. What is the difference between those people and say you, the one who's watching us now, right? That difference is something you need to interrogate within yourself to say, what is it that makes me pull back? What makes me, first of all, define myself in a limiting way, to choose for me and my entire people that, oh no, we are only good at this, right? What is moving within yourself? What is the training, the belief systems, school, from church, from that friend, from that girl, from that boy, that has gotten you to the point where you are currently saying, I am actually only good to make 10,000 pula in my life, 10,000, that's all. I can't possibly be the person who makes millions. Millions, that's not me, right? Like, practically, let's just start there. So for you, Nonofang, let's use you as a case study. What is the amount of money that maybe before you started your journey, you really aspired to make on a genuine level? Like, you thought you could make this much, and how has that changed as you continue to look more deeply into these beliefs and thoughts that made you believe in a certain number?
Love it. Love the question. I am so activated. Wow. Yo. Okay. So for me, Joy, I'll take you straight to the time when I graduated and I knew I'm looking for a job. The whole time I would think about how much do I want to be paid, right? As I'm applying for this job. So I had to prepare myself for that question. Like, okay, so how much do you want? The honest truth is, I was very content with, if they can just give me 8,000, I'm sorted. I'm happy. This is
$800,
by the way. I was like, if they can just get me there, it really felt like a win, to be honest. It felt like, yeah, if they can offer me that much. And in that timeline, I never imagined that I could have a business and create money at any time. I truly imagined that this money will come once a month and it will be my salary. In this timeline, I cannot even comprehend that my deepest desire actually is to be a multimillionaire. I don't see that availability at all. I am so disconnected from that being available at all. It's just 8,000. I'll be happy if they can offer me that.
Yeah. Right. And that's majority of women. We have this cap of how much we can make. And I think for us, particularly women, I remember for me, I actually really, to tell the truth, didn't think much about money right? I really just was not a person who thought, how much money will I make? But I always used to just know I will always have money. Like money will always be there. Like it was some kind of story I had, but it wasn't a kind of story. To tell the truth, it was an inherited belief that I received because I'm a Mogami, because my people are wealthy, I guess. Some of my people are wealthy. So abundance in terms of monetary was something that I'm used to seeing. So I just always thought, oh, I'm also going to just always have money, you know? So, but I didn't think much of how much will I make, you know? I just knew I will always be taken care of. For the abundant woman, though, there is a different conversation we need to have, particularly with spiritual entrepreneurs, which is this idea that if you're doing this work, you can't be putting money to it, a price to it, you know, because you're doing the work of God, you're doing the work of the ancestors of the soul and so on. So you can't be like, I'm a healer and I want to be a multimillionaire. It's like this, there's some kind of belief that that's blasphemous and just like, no, unacceptable, right? So this is some of the things you need to look at. Like one, just generally you as a person, where you come from, how has your background shaped what you believe about your money and how much your money, how much you are allowed to experience in terms of money, right? How much has your gender, being a woman, influenced how much you believe you can make? Because historically, there are more men who are billionaires than women, not because women can't be billionaires, because women were told that is not something to aspire for. So we don't even aspire for the million in the first place, because we're like, oh no, that's, you know, I shouldn't aspire for that, because we have created a story that money is connected to power. No one ever teaches us that even though money is connected to power, what is that power? That power is the ability to actually affect and impact and influence people, because unfortunately we do live in a world in which money opens spaces, opportunities. Money is a tool that has been used to limit particular groups of people from experiencing happiness and love and. So for us, the spiritual entrepreneur, we need to get on board with understanding that our work, our spiritual work itself, there is a part of it that has to be practical, that has to be with, since our governments are not going to be building healing center, education system, training centers for us to come into awareness of this bigger eternal aspect of our lives, we are going to be responsible for that. So we have to get on board with understanding that, yes, money creates power, but that power, you get to define it. Right? And in fact, it's actually a spiritual mission to be a multimillionaire. You just have to change that story inside yourself.
It is a spiritual mission to be a multimillionaire. I love that. As you're saying this, I'm like, it's so funny how for me, pre my awakening, that's when I was like, yeah, money didn't mean so much to me. And I realized that even the idea, the story that I heard about how much I should be paid is because this was so familiar to me. This was the amount that I could comprehend, that I was familiar. And then in going through my healing journey and working with you, I got to realize the layers and the blocks and the stories that I had created. And I kept having to address each and every one of them. And for me, that connected me with actually my truth and my deepest desire to say that I am worthy of that abundance. I am worthy of creating wealth. And I love how you also just shifted the idea of money being linked to power, and how for us, we never even, I personally didn't see it see that actually, yes, it is linked to that power, but I have to also understand that that power, I have it myself, and there is a way I can use it to influence my planet, to influence my country, and my community in all ways. So thank you for highlighting that responsibility. Actually, I do recognize the limitation that spiritual entrepreneurs may have, that this is the work of God, and therefore, if it's for God, why should I even be paid for it? But when you say, actually, it is part of your mission, because you have to see how much influence then you can bring into the God mission, it just makes me even more responsible, and it really connects me to that depth of saying that I actually want more money. I actually desire to have the millions, because there is work to do. There is so much work to do. Yeah, so thank you for highlighting that.
And I think before you continue, let's kind of challenge this idea that if you're doing the work of Spirit of God, you should not be desiring money, or should be accumulating money. What is it about our concept of God that states that you having resources and support is not allowed? We must look into what we think the Godhead is, because if God has created a planet, and has created a planet where now currently everything that runs here requires money, why will this loving being who has created you, has imbued you with the same spark, eternal spark, not want you to have some resources, but have a cap to it, right? I think people need to really look into that more deeply, because that is one of the biggest limiting belief and story women have. I, on a personal level, to be honest with you, as a personality, I am not moved by money, like money being in my account. It's not something that excites me. I'm excited more of, what am I going to do with that money? I'm excited by the idea that I can support my family with that money. I'm excited by the idea that I can build spaces for us. I'm excited by the idea that we can start to have land and grow our organic medicine, and teach the kids about that true self. That is what that money represents for me, right? And a God who has created you would want the same for you, right? So that's very important, because if you are a spiritual entrepreneur and you are starting your business, and you are at a point where you are undercharging because you think somehow that is what is going to make you more godly, you clearly need to re-look into what you believe God to be. Right? Because the God who has sent you here needs you to be supported so you can do the mission.
Truly. Yes. It should take you back to your idea of God. I truly believe God wants us to have everything. He created everything after all. Earlier on when he said, why should we even pay? It connects to that. God created everything, and he would never want his own child to be in lack, or to ever be limited in any way. So what are some of the opportunities that you feel like this timeline that we're in as spiritual women, what are some of the opportunities that you feel like we are being asked to look into when it comes to wealth, when it comes to money and money medicine? What is the opportunity that we need to be seeing in our intentions of creating and supporting the God mission?
Okay. there are a couple of opportunities that are available, and I guess it's like essentially this is what I believe money medicine is, and how we need to approach money medicine.
Yeah.
So the first one is what we have already spoken about, that we live in an organized world that has organized laws, and these laws are affecting you, and it will benefit us to get to understand these laws on a spiritual level, the laws of manifestation, the laws of materialization. I want to speak about the difference between manifestation and materialization. Manifestation is when you do make that intention to create a particular money number because you desire that money. Now, the materialization is, does it actually end up materializing in your life? Anyone can manifest. We are constantly manifesting, but the issue here that we are having is that we are doing the laws of attractions and affirmations, and we're praying to God and saying, God, I'm doing all the things, but the money is not coming. What is the block that is existing within you that is not allowing things to materialize? If you are a spiritual entrepreneur, guaranteed that if we think of our eternal essence being somewhere in the heart, and then everything surrounding that, the dust surrounding that is what we call your core energy, which is made up of the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, the stories that you are holding about wealth, about your work, about your worth, about safety, how safe it is for you to be your true self and to be supported fully. They are held around this heart. The beliefs of your people, your ancestors, your race are also there.
Yes.
This is why you see Black people tend to have similar issues, because we have the same energy as a people, right? So you want to look into that. In what way are you moving in the world with the archetype of a Black person, because that's what apparently you're supposed to be, right? In what way are you repeating the exact experiences of your grandmothers, your aunts, your uncles, those who have lived before you? If you are a human being, guaranteed you are affected by the people who have lived before you, your ancestry. The ancestry being the bloodline, and the ancestry being your race, and so on, right? This one is a big one. What is the emotional pain that you are carrying that comes from the traumatic events that you have went through, where you were deeply hurt at that emotional level, at that soul level, right? So that emotional pain, it is typically the biggest block that most of us hold. It is where our distortions come, because you grew up in a home that did not have food sometimes. That was a painful thing, to go to sleep without food. And that pain created the sense of the world not being safe, this idea that you are clearly not like other children, you are not loved by God, so you are meant to suffer. So you walk in the world with that energy that I am not allowed to be a multimillionaire. How can that possibly be true for me when we used to never have food? That emotional pain is what you need to attend to address. This emotional pain, limiting stories, ancestral vows and oath, every human being has them. Even if you have went to initiation and you've been trained by some 1,000 shamans, you have them. It's not something you pray about and it's done, because God has imbued you with that spark to come and co-create. And so we need to realize the opportunity that You are a sovereign being, and as a sovereign being, you are given the opportunity to come here and shift this core energy so that you can begin to radiate your true essence of eternal essence, an eternal being. And actually, materialization comes from magnetism, comes from a very clear, not only understanding, but embodiment that I'm actually worthy. I'm actually good enough. I'm actually deserving of being paid this. God wants me to be supported, right? So not as a concept that you say to yourself, but as a deep, deep knowing. So it's not something you can fake yourself and pretend, you know, and it's not something you learn from books. It's not something you listen to YouTube's. There is levels in which that can help, but this is something that has to shift internally within you. And that shift is essentially, I call it spiritualizing your entire body, filling up all of your being with that inner spark, such that all of that pain is transmuted by that eternal spark, that divine intelligence we spoke about in the beginning. That is far superior than any system, any pattern, any story that you are holding.
Yes.
So that's the opportunity. On a practical level, they should pay you to work with you. In order to tell them that the work that I have, this is the value of it. It will change your life in this way. This is how much, you know, it means you can get to a point where you are not afraid of being different, of being judged. You're not holding back anything about yourself. This one was so big for me. I have found that a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs are not making the money that they are meant to be making because they're holding themselves back, because they're still trying to be the good girl, to fit in, be like other people. So they're not actually offering their true gift and their true mission. They're doing exactly what they believe they are meant to be doing, like all the other coaches. So I have to coach like other people. I have to have the same title. That's only when people will feel like I am worthy to be paid. I am here to say, throw all of that and just go be your entire weird self. Because when you start being your entire weird self, you will begin to magnetize every single soul who is actually meant to work with you. Right now, they can't work with you because they are not in alignment with the service that you are currently providing, because that is not what they're seeking. What they're seeking is the weirdness, is that intelligence, whatever it is, that amazingness, that artistic creativity, whatever it is that in your core, every day before you go to sleep and you are within your eternal essence space, you daydream about all the things you want to do. That's the thing to do. That is the mission to do. When you do it, and then you just put the value that you believe it is, obviously understanding and obviously making it in ways that people can actually afford it, creating payment plans for people. Guaranteed, you would have arrived to money medicine. You will materialize it. It will no longer be like, I've been manifesting, trying to manifest the 10 people to pay me this. They're not coming. They're not coming because you are not your true self. Okay, let's drink.
Hey,
I'm done.
Wow, I hope you guys remember me saying this divine wisdom is coming through. Just prepare yourself. I've been actually like really, you've really opened my eyes. You've activated me. You've made me want greater things for myself. That's the effect Joy Mogami has had. So you speak about, I love how you break down manifestation. You are calling it in with your energy, but then there needs to be materialization, right? And if you're going to materialize, it is going to be through magnetism. But what actually is magnetizing the people, the wealth, and the abundance should start from your core. your inner knowing. So you speak about the spiritual woman having to attend to what is at the core. This is the stories that she has about herself, her worth, her core wounds around money and wealth and the ideas of money, her core wounds and the stories of her ancestors, the stories of her family, the patterns. She needs to be working on these layers. And you also speak about the emotional pain. What has been my pain, my deepest pain, and from my experiences around money, around wealth. And we do have those, that deepest pain because we are born into bloodlines and families that have been experiencing the injustice of this wealth distribution or how the world is operating currently when it comes to money and wealth. And I also love how you bring it into, as you have worked on your core, your emotional pain, you must also bring the practicality, value of your work, attach value to your work and be bold enough to say, this is my work, this is how it gets to change you, this is the impact of my work. However, this is also how much I get to be paid for it, and be bold in that. And thank you also for speaking about being true to my weirdness, being true to myself, like what is coming through? What is the divine message? What is the divine message that is coming through to say that this is the thing that you need to be delivering to the people? How we hold ourselves back because we're like, I need to be like this. And I honestly do resonate with that because I also saw it in myself, where at some point in time I was like, I'm a money and mindset coach, but I'm really, I deeply connect with addressing issues of money from our inner wounds, from our emotions around money, what is triggered, but also, you know, being caught between, maybe if I spoke about certain things, it'll just be easier for people to connect with me. So thank you for highlighting the importance of the mission also being attached to me being true and devoted to my work. There's also the aspect of devotion that we are being called into. Be devoted to the truth of your work. Be devoted to what is coming through, to how you are being asked to serve. And your people will be drawn to you. The people that you are meant to help will be drawn to you. I love also how you say, have this inner knowing where you are filling up your spirit body. Yes, it has to really fill me up to a point where I know completely that I believe this. I truly, truly know that this is not me lying to myself. I truly connect with this. I know for sure that I'm worthy. I know for sure that I'm deserving as an abundant woman, as a spiritual woman. I love that. I love that. I love that. So, yeah. Wow. It is definitely, yeah, you're definitely shifting our perception from just being like, this whole conversation, I felt like we shifted from the victimhood, the powerlessness that we sometimes feel around money and wealth creation, and feeling like it cannot be me or it is not available for me. And we getting to realize actually the layers and the distortions that are making us feel that way. And also at the same time getting to realize that actually, woman, you have the power, you can do this. And this is how you can start. Begin within, you know, begin by accessing the core that you felt from the time you were young. Like that spark is actually your direction, your guidance to say that this is how you're going to create. Wow. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't know what to ask you after this. I feel like you've taken me through the journey, but maybe, yeah, the women are happy. I saw a comment here where Cordelia was like, Joy, I am always asking why we have to pay for things. I feel like also that was my highlight, where you were like, why are we paying? And I was like, yeah, she's right. Why are we paying?
Yeah.
So thank you
It
for
is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the last words or just something that you feel like, I feel like we have, for me, I'm satisfied, but maybe your last message to the women as we conclude this beautiful conversation.
When I stepped into my calling or mission, or really the desire of my eternal essence, that desire was to teach, to share wisdom, and to support in the removing of all that gunk beyond before we can get to the spark of divinity.
Yeah.
When I started that, I just had this, let's call it magical thinking. Right. Magical thinking is, if I just show up, they will come. I had that. If I tell God, please give me the client, God will bring the client. If I partner to the ancestors, the ancestors, they're gonna bring the client, and it's gonna happen. There was literally no practicality in the thinking. And the very first 18 months of my business was painful, because I showed up, I did the things, I did the research, I YouTubed, I listened to all the other coaches, but I was not getting the clients. And at that point, I was literally like charging $60 to work with me for like 6 weeks.
Yes.
You know, or so. Yeah, 3 months was like $120. That was crazy, but but no one was signing up. I was like, what is happening? Why is I'm sharing all these amazing things? I'm telling them how they need to heal themselves. Why are they not coming to heal themselves, these people? And yeah, so as time went on, I realized that there is an issue here with my thinking, and that even though I had all the information and I had all the training, you know, honestly, the training I had was the training of the healing arts. I'm a healing artist, right? With a background in psychology and all the other histories that I have. When it came to running a business, making money, I actually had to come to the realization that I don't know anything about it. In fact, anytime I see anyone talking about VAT and taxes, I have anxiety because I don't understand what it is about, you know? So I had to come to the realization a year in that I don't know anything about how to actually make money, how to communicate with people about my services so that they can come and buy my services. I didn't even understand that there are people who don't know that I have a service, that I'm selling something. I lied to someone, they're like, oh no, now we thought you like doing live streams for the sake of just sharing. You know, I'm like, I've been selling. What are you talking about? Why would I just love live streaming? So I didn't understand that what I feel inside, my certainty about this call and my love for wanting to help people, isn't always translating to the other person, because we are different. Even though we are one, we are different, right? So for most people, they have one system of selling. Is there is a shop, I go to a shop and I say, can I buy that drink? Then they give you and it goes. Our industry that we are in is the industry of education. And I think that coaches need to understand this, that you are actually in the industry of education and healing, the health system, right? Yes. And people have a different idea of how to engage with the health system, which is I go to the hospital, I go there and I tell them that I have a thing, then they give me the medicine and I go. Here we are now completely running in a different way from what is the norm. People have to catch up on this new entire way of engaging with a product that is called your healing business. It is a product, but it's still new. We function differently from the what is in the market and the way of exchange. As African people, as abundant women, we need to know this and understand this and take the time to figure out how do you begin to communicate your product to the people that you're working with. Just because you are a great healer doesn't always mean that they will know this and that they're going to come. That's called magical thinking. It doesn't translate to materialization. Okay. Wow. So there are a lot of amazing, gifted healers, coaches, and they're sharing even in their social media, and they're hoping that people will come and buy the product. The person doesn't, first of all, know that you have any product. They don't know the importance of that product, because also our product most of the time is the intangible. It's not something I can touch. Yes. If I come and say, I come and heal your soul, what does that even mean? Heal my soul. What is this soul you're talking about? Right? So I myself had to be confronted with that. I actually don't know, because I am a poet and I'm a healer, and I came with my flower words. I still use my flower words, but now I know how to explain the flower words better. But I used to imagine, multidimensional oracle, come and clear your ego pathologies. What is that? I have no idea what you're talking about, Joy. So I'm not going to buy something I don't understand what it is, right? So it is also our responsibility to explain to our people about our services and the impact of this work that we're dealing with. Let's not assume people get it. Right. This is why, for me, I run a lot of free programs, because sometimes you don't get it until you experience it. Right. Yeah. I do it because in psychology, we call it psycho-education. We were even told when I was 10 years ago, when I was going through training, that you're going to have to educate our people about the fact that they are behavioral and cognitive beings. They have a thinking and a behavior, and it affects them. That is true for as well. I wish, this is the thing I would like every spiritual entrepreneur to know. You're going to have to educate people. It doesn't need to look like mine or Nonofan's, but this is the truth. That's the other missing link. Yes. There isn't anything wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your services. You are not failing. Your services are required, they're needed, but people haven't yet gotten to the point of understanding what it is that you are really doing. So that's the first one point I wanted to mention. The last one was, after 18 months for me, talking and telling people about the ego pathologies, I hired a coach. I hired a money coach, and she changed my life. And I remember someone one came to me and said, Joy, why would you hire a money coach when you know everything to be known about money? And I was telling them that the thing about money medicine, getting to a point where your bank account changes, has nothing to do with knowledge. It has nothing to do with the self-help books you've read and how much you can explain a concept. That core energy, I can speak about the core energy, but I'm not changing anything about it. To change it, you actually have to go through a healing process that allows you to connect with it, transmute it, and clear it. And unfortunately, in the same way that a doctor, a surgeon cannot do their own surgery, they need someone else to do it. The same is true for us as well as spiritual entrepreneurs. We need to actually have someone do the surgery remove all those limiting belief, ego pathologies for us, not because you are not smart or your ancestors are not helping you or God is not listening to your prayer, but because we have to be honest and practical and accept that it's been 18 months or however long it has been for you and you're not seeing any changes. So get support. That changed my life. Like my money coach, I still, talk to her and I'm always like, you changed my life. And the investment I did also just gave me the permission. Like once I was able to pay someone, I then felt very comfortable charging, especially because I was like, if I can pay this, then others should be able to pay this as well. So bet on yourself. Come to the uncomfortable realization that there is more work to be done and it does take time. But if you are in this for the long haul, if you genuinely want to get to a point where you are making money, which is possible, I can say that for me, 6 months after I started working with my money coach, I swear I had a call with her and I said, Vangile, do you know that I made 10 times what I invested with you a year later? I'm like, I don't know how I did that. When I started with you, I was not making, I don't know what I was making, but it was nothing really. Now, this is what's happening. We need that support, and investing in yourself is because you truly believe that you are here for your mission and you want to help. And so you're doing that investment so that it can later pay off. And you are not failing. Not yet. If you're here, you're listening to me, you have not failed. You just maybe have been missing a couple of things to look at, right? If you're 18 months in, 3 years in, please, every single person who you think is a success and you're comparing yourself with, they also took that long. I can confirm that. It takes years, but it does work. It does happen. You just have to keep going and be honest with where you are and with the support you need. I'm done.
Yo. Now I'm just always in awe, happy to be receiving such powerful messages. That was a beautiful, you brought in the aspect of practicality and really expanded with that. The whole time I'm laughing because I was like, I really resonate with this magic girl. I really felt as soon as I tell people that I'm a money and mindset coach, voila, it'll just be. I truly believe that. Hey, Whitey. But I always thank God. You were there holding space for me. Oh my God. Joy, there was little heartbreaks, but I truly now see the gifts in the heartbreaks as well to say that, hey, do you really think you just get to say, well, I'm a money mindset coach coming to you live, and then all this happened? I really connect with that because, wow, hey. That has not been the story. But also, thank you for saying this. Our industry is an education system and a health system. When you said this, I said, also what is challenging about this particular health system is that sometimes it's different. Patients who go to the hospital, who go to the clinic, sometimes are aware that, oh, I have a wound, it's physical, I see it here, hence why I feel the need to go to the hospital and pay for my medical expenses. But now, when you are here and, being on the spiritual business, sometimes I've had people tell me how they are doing just fine, how they don't have any money issues, but 2 minutes later say, with me, I really struggle to save it. But it's not actually a struggle. No, I never save. This is how they say, no, I never save. But earlier they were like, I don't have a problem. And I've also had people say, oh, I thought all this time you are coming online to talk about money. I thought it is your passion. You are just sharing what you are passionate about. really like this magic girl is there for the spiritual entrepreneur. Yo. The magical girl needs healing of her own. I love this. Educate the people. Let them know exactly what you do. Help them understand the scope of your work, and so that they also get to identify that there is work to be done here. Yeah, there is work to be done here. You also brought up a very good point to say that it's very important to bet on yourself. The secret is, women, abundance will always help you question what is not true. So if you, for example, decide that, or maybe you have never ever invested on something that is maybe more than $500, maybe the highest amount you have ever like just attended a workshop was like, oh, it's $200, so I will attend. It's really going to be very difficult to say that, oh, please come forward and pay me $500 for my program or for the service, or pay me this much for my consultation. There is that energy where it really like, it's like you're contradicting yourself. So as you said, it's important that you bet on yourself, and also you yourself get to invest in yourself. It really affirms to you that if I can do this, then other people can do it. It will be reciprocated, and even more, to be honest. So thank you for highlighting that, because I also do recognize that contradiction that happens, that contradictory energy that happens if you put a price that you yourself cannot comprehend paying someone else. So it's so important that we invest in ourselves. I really love everything that you have said. I also was busy taking a bit of notes to say that you are activating every time you talk to me, every time you talk to the women. There's always where you take me to the next level. And I know this happens to the women as well, where you just say, let's stretch, let's expand. Yes, I see you are there, but you can do more. Come on. So yeah, I love how God is just using you to always remind the woman to elevate, to be in her power, to create with intent, and to really remember. My highlight for today was remembering that spark that was in. It's really just, it connected me with myself and saying, that is where actually I get to create. And yes, the magic girl, I was like, the magic girl does run that. She runs the show if you allow her to in our businesses. So thank you for helping the women see that, to see that, hey, yeah. I loved it. Thank you so much, Joy. I am so happy. By the way, women, just a little secret. I didn't even know Joy was going to be part of this summit. But now I'm like, of course, God was like, she better just be here. She better be here. And I love how you just concluded our whole journey of the 6 days, bringing your perspective, your wisdom. Beautiful. You are a beautiful woman. Joy, if I am called to work with you, or I desire to know more about your offerings, yes, please help me understand how I can work with you, and what are you currently offering?
Okay. So currently, I have 3 ways you can work with me. Okay. So the first one is you can book a 2-hour, I call it a multidimensional once-off session. And the purpose of this multidimensional once-off session is that we are going to work on your core energy that I was talking about, and help you to heal what needs to be healed, so you can begin to connect with that eternal essence, right? And as an oracle, I am gifted with the ability to connect to, let's call it the all that is, the divine intelligence field. So I'm able to sometimes support you with getting clarity on some questions that you do have. through connecting with that eternal essence in your behalf, right? Your own personal eternal essence, and asking your own eternal essence the questions that you want, that you have, and then sharing them with you. So that's what we do within those multidimensional once-off sessions. So I guess other ways to look at what an oracle is, bless you, will be a prophet, although that's not how I work, but yeah. So I have the gift of sight, seeing. I'm a seer, and we will be able to do that in those sessions and do some deep healing work. I love this. Even this once-off session can change your life, so you can look into that if you've never worked with me. The second one is that I have a 1-year school that is currently actually open right now. We're beginning our classes this Saturday. I'm really excited for it. And it's it is for the healer, for the coach who wants to deepen their own personal healing, their, you know, ancestral healing, and also understand their own gifts and understand their purpose, their mission even more deeply. And also just naturally being around me activates people. Is one of my frequency does that for people. So what happens is that people's gifting, when you are in a container with me, you start to dream more, you start to see more, you know, all those gifts that are blocked. So that's because I have my magnetic pole frequency that I send out awakens yours. So that's the benefit of this school. It's called a Warrior Mystery School. It is a school for warriors. I am completely devoted to truth, and that means I tell the truth, even the painful truth. And so if you are a warrior, this is your school to come and attend to this, to the painful truth of our reality, but also to awaken your fighter, the lion, the sleeping lion within you. So this is a 1-year program which you can definitely check out, and I will have a conversation with you, a discovery session, so we can talk more about it. There is a payment plan, a monthly payment plan, which is absolutely affordable. And then I also have 6 months mentorship where you work one-on-one with me. This is if you feel like, Joy, hey, my situation really needs us to be like this. Every week we go inside. So yeah, it's for those who feel like they really want to go deeper and they need more support. And yeah, it's my one-on-one work is unlike anything I have ever seen, in that we are actually led by the eternal essence. So what happens in there every week is always new, and I absolutely love that. So I have space for 2 people who are ready to work at that level for the one-on-one. So yeah, those are the 3 ways that you can work with me. My website is joymogami.com, which you can go check out all of these offerings. Yes. And just as a plus, even though I teach about the eternal essence, I'm actually a really good business, money, work, what. I will help you with all the things. We look at all of the things that affect you. So so go check that out.
I love it. I love it. I have had the privilege of working with Joy myself. I worked with her one-on-one, and it honestly changed my life. I literally shifted and became another version of myself. Everything that I never thought I was capable of, or that I felt like was not available for me, I started truly believing in myself and truly believing that I deserve great things. When I worked with Joy and went on a deep healing journey. We go deeper in those sessions. And what I love about Joy is, you know, she talks about her activation. She also has a way of just drawing you in and allowing you to be really vulnerable. Even if you're the type of person who says, I'm not one person who cries a lot or what. As soon as you're just in here and you're like, hey, there is a lot that I just am going through. There are a lot of things I need answers. She really is for the genetic path cutters, women who have this feeling that something is off, something needs to be done. But also, I love that these women, also from those that I got to also interact with, they have a deep desire to connect with a God. Joy is a God woman. She will literally connect you to your deepest connection with God. I didn't know my relationship with God until I worked with God. And it's because until I worked with Joy, and it's because of the vulnerability that I had to feel. It's because I got to connect with my deepest self, my higher self. I got to really see my wounds and acknowledge them and embrace them. And it was so beautiful. Like the whole time I felt safe. So she has this thing where you are just feeling safe to say, yes, this is how I'm feeling. And also how she just activates you to have a higher perspective. I'm one person who used to be, I would say that in working with her as well, as she says, she's a multidimensional org. We have sometimes a weakness of seeing things through only our eyes or just one dimension. For me, working with her transformed me to be the type of person who, in as much as sometimes my emotions will drive me to see something only at one dimension, the multidimensional comes into place. Like I can be able to see things from my perspective, from another person's perspective, and then also see from a third perspective and use those lessons to grow myself and to really get to see myself elevate. She's a woman of elevation as well. So yes, you will be really blessed to work with her. I'm also a graduate of Warrior Mystery School, a super powerful warrior. I am so it is such an honor to be in that container for a whole year. There is so much that we got to do, guys, and you are going to enjoy this. You are going to enjoy the container of Warrior Mystery School. If you're someone who's also curious about yourself as a soul, about planet Earth, about God, about higher realms, about divine guides, you get to have a deeper understanding. Like she's going to just make you see it. It has always been there. What I truly appreciate about it is that every time you're like, nothing I'm telling you is new though. It's just that I am just removing the veil and say, but see it, Lulufang, it has always been there, you know? So I really, really, really know that every woman who's going to be part of the school, and you should be part of the school, I feel like it's a very important, it's not even a program, I don't know what to call it. It's really an important
rite of passage. It's a rite of passage.
Yes, it's a rite of passage for every genetic path cutter, every gifted woman. And yes, I would like to confirm that before working with Joy, I actually would have never felt like I have gifts. She knows this. I used to say, what are my gifts again? What are my gifts? And then it just so happened, I began to dream a lot, to remember my dreams, and to see visions. Me. So yeah, please do. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor and really honoring your soul. Your soul wants you to be in that program, in that school, in that rite of passage. So all the best. I'm already excited for you, and I do celebrate all the women who are going to get to work with you, Joy, because you are such a gift. You are a God girl, like you always say. And thank you for really answering the call. Joy answering the call led to me answering the call and to connecting deeply with God. And I know you have done this for many women. You are such a vessel for God. And keep growing, keep elevating, and keep allowing God to work through you. And thank you so much. I would like to conclude by just saying, Thokozani go.
Oh my God. Marcus. Wow. First of all, you are such a saleswoman. My God. Didn't I tell you this? The very first, when you started sharing your work online, I'm like, you're such a saleswoman. You're so good at this. The way you just sold me, I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. So you can put that in a list of all your gifts. I'm a good, not good, amazing, great saleswoman. So thank you so much for inviting me here, you know, and for sharing and literally hyping me up in this way. This has been so beautiful. It's an honor to come and share all of this with the abundant women. And it's also such an honor for me as a teacher to see you doing all of this work that you've been doing with all the other women in the summit. And just this work, I know how much you put so much into this work. It takes so much to do this work, and you have done it. Congratulations. Finally, the summit is over, and you did so well.
Thank you. The women are celebrating. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much gratitude from the women. Thank you. One last tagline, and then we say bye-bye. Maybe just one line to say to the women.
From me. Yeah. Wow, putting me on the what tagline?
It will come.
Oh my God. Honestly, the tagline is that you were born for these times. You were born for abundance. It is your human and divine right to be wealthy, to be massively compensated, massively supported by the world, by people you're working with, by God, by your eternal essence and your entire evolution support team. And wherever you are, keep going. It will get better. You will crack the code, whatever the code is for you. You will crack it and you will actually get to have a spiritual, creative, conscious business that actually generates enough money that actually supports you for you to do your mission full time. I am a testament of that. And all I did was I kept going. So keep going. You will eventually materialize all that money that is going to support you even more. Yeah. Be blessed.
Amen. Bye-bye, beautiful
Amen.
women.
Bye.